this video because I got some really incredible questions from you guys, and honestly questions that made me really think. I had to actually go through each question before making this video, because I would have just been totally rambling or thinking way too hard about an answer. So as much as I like for them to be spontaneous, and I like all of my videos to be spontaneous, I had to do a little bit of pre-planning for this one. So I think it will be pretty casual, just some close-up whispering, going through your questions. I think there are about 25. We'll see how many we get through. I'm going to try to keep my answers brief so I can get through them all, but that's kind of hard for me sometimes because I am a little chatty. So we'll see, but that is my intention. And I have all of the questions on my phone, so I'll just be reading from them and we'll go from there. And again, thank you guys for sending all of your questions. I'm actually so surprised how many that I got, and they're all really good questions, like I said, so I'm very happy to answer them. Anyways, let's get right to it. Alright, so the first question was honestly one of the hardest for me to answer, which is, I know you've been to a lot of concerts. Which has been your favorite? This one took me forever to think about, and honestly, I still couldn't really come up with one. I guess if I had to, I would say Girl Talk. And if you've never heard of Girl Talk, it's just like this one random guy. He's, I guess, like a mashup DJ kind of artist. And I saw him for the first time at Firefly in 2014. And I don't know, it was just so much fun. It was like a 2-hour set of just dancing. And I remember thinking afterwards that that was the first time in my life that I just danced continuously for 2 whole hours. I didn't know I was physically capable of doing that, just because since it was all like one continuous mashup, there weren't any breaks. And I just loved all of the music. I loved the people I was around, just being out in the woods at this festival. So it was like so much about the feeling of it, which is why I have to say it's one of my favorites, just because of all of those reasons. But I do have some honorable mentions that I cannot forget to bring up. Outcast, incredible, so much fun. Mac Miller, I saw Mac Miller 4 times, and the first time I ever saw him was in a dingy basement venue in Western Massachusetts, totally like kind of middle of nowhere. And this was before I knew anything about him. My friend found him on SoundCloud or something similar, and we went because I was like, why not? It was like a $10-15 ticket, and again, it was just like the feeling. I loved the music. At the time he was playing Kids, which is one of his early mixtapes, and I've loved every show I saw by him, and I'm terribly sad that he's not here anymore, but I'm not gonna get into that. And then last is the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Technically speaking, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs is I guess my favorite band. And so the first time I saw them, it was just like euphoric. I don't know, it was incredible. I saw them at the House of Blues years ago. I think I was still in high school. And I cried when Karen O came out on stage. It was just like I'd waited for so long to like see that show, and it was so good. Anyway, so sorry for the long-winded answer. That is the longest answer I'm going to try to have for these questions. I know we're not off to a good start, but again, that is such a hard question for me to answer. If you know me, you know that I love music, and that's like, I could talk about it for hours, so doing my best. Okay. How many states have you been to, and which is your favorite to visit? So I had to check a map, but it turns out I've been to 24 U.S. states. My favorite to visit is a sentimental answer for me, and it's Vermont. spending all of my summers and winters there. I still go there all the time. We have a family camp there, and I don't know, it's where all of my best memories are, just being kind of out in the mountains by the lake. Yeah, so just for all of those like sentimental reasons, it's my favorite place to go in the world. But then I also have to tack on Hawaii, because Hawaii is so beautiful, and oh my gosh, I could stay there for months at a time if I ever had the money to do that. But I wanted to add that I do really want to go to Oregon, Colorado, and Maine. Just if you wanted to know that extra bit. Okay. Do you find making videos as relaxing as watching other people's ASMR videos? Technically, no. I do enjoy making videos, and I do get pretty relaxed because this becomes the one thing that I focus on, and it's usually very soothing types of motions and vocals, so it does relax me. But I am still like a bit of a perfectionist, so I do get irritated when I hear street noises or apartment noises, or I feel like it's not coming out the way I want it to. So it's definitely not as relaxing as watching a video, but it does calm me down, I think. I do think that. But of course, like when I'm watching videos in bed and I'm trying to fall asleep, I mean, nothing is more relaxing than that. Okay. Has ASMR helped your mental health well-being? 100%. 110%. Yeah, when I first started watching ASMR, I was listening to a lot of like self-care, affirmational types of videos, very much focused on just feeling good about yourself and being proud of what you do, and that did a lot for me. And I just found that having that really relaxing and calming and soothing, almost like emotional support, it helped me just to de-stress, to get through my day. I don't know, it's improved my well-being dramatically, and I could go on about that forever, but even just having a channel and making videos and seeing the response that it gets from you guys, I mean, it's increased my confidence. It's, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely helped my well-being tremendously. Do you play a lot of video games? If yes, what's your favorite game of all time? I love video games. It's really hard to pick a favorite, actually, but I am very much a sucker for the more nostalgic games. I played a ton of video games back when I was younger because I had a lot more time to play. And it is a lot about making priorities, right? I could probably play them more than I do currently, but they've kind of taken a backseat. But I think my all-time favorite is Simpsons Hit and Run. Let me know if you've played that game before. I am obsessed with it, and oh my god, I could play it for hours. But I guess I will throw in a few honorable mentions. So, Crash Nitro Kart, ATV Off-Road Fury 2. Obviously The Sims. Oh my god. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. A classic. But more recently, because my roommate has an Xbox, I just play what he has. I still have a PS2. I'm so outdated, you guys. It's expensive to buy new consoles and games, so I don't. But I usually just play what he plays, which honestly most of the time is Fortnite, which is kind of funny because I feel like that game is geared towards a much younger audience, but I don't know, it's fun, we get into it, so whatever. Okay. Do you have any tattoos? Yes, I have 2 tattoos, but I definitely want more. The first one is on my back left shoulder, and it's pretty big. I'd say it's about this big, if that tells you anything. It takes up pretty much my whole back shoulder, and it's a black and white rooster tattoo is sort of a tribute to him. His zodiac sign was a rooster, and I feel like he very much portrayed that role as a rooster. It was very symbolic of who he was, and his all-time favorite song was called Rooster by Alice in Chains, and the first few times I got into the car after he had passed away, that song was on the radio, and Rooster's a well-known song, but it's not that well-known. Like, to jump into the car, turn on the radio, and that would be the first thing playing, it very much felt like a message, or maybe that's what I wanted it to be, but anyway, I just felt like I had to get a rooster tattoo for that. And then, a few years later, I got a quote in German on my ribs. It's also pretty big. It's probably like that, if that means anything. And the quote is simply, "This too shall pass," but it's in German, a variation of German, so it's "Ach, dies geht vorbei." And I don't know, it just felt really important that I get it at the time. For a long time, "This Too Shall Pass" by OK Go was my favorite song, and I listened to it whenever I was depressed, which a long time ago was a lot of the time, and it was sort of like my fight song in a way. Let it go, this too shall pass, like the storm will pass, you'll be okay, and I wanted a reminder of that, so I got it on my ribs. I have a few other tattoos I want to get, but I'm struggling to figure out placement where I want them. I like the idea of a forearm tattoo, but that's a big commitment for me. Where they are now, the tattoos I have, I can hide them, and I like that. I guess I'm just scared I'll hate it, and then I cannot avoid looking at it, and everyone can see it. But I'll figure that out. Okay. What's your favorite cuisine? It's really hard. I guess generally I would say Italian because I love carbs. I'm all about carbs, pasta and bread, and just carbs. But I would probably say more of what I eat now is Chinese food, Thai food, Indian food. And that's probably because it's harder to get Italian with the diet that I'm on, which, I mean, I guess it's not really a diet, but I've been eating vegan more or less for 3 years now. So you can't really go to a lot of Italian restaurants and get vegan dishes to not have meat and dairy. I mean, dairy is like everything for Italian food. Though luckily living in New York, there are a lot of vegan options, and there are some Italian choices as well that are pretty good. So, but yeah, I'd say Chinese and Indian probably. More options for me, generally. Okay. Is it hard to relax and unwind in such a big and busy city like New York? Yes, it's incredibly hard, at least for me. And to be honest, I don't actually like New York all that much. I came here for school in 2013, graduated, got a job, and at the time when I moved here, my intention was to work in a job that required that I be in a city like New York. I, for a long time, was going into entertainment, PR, public relations, and communications, and so I had some really cool internships and part-time jobs in the entertainment industry, and then I discovered that I actually hate it. I didn't like the personalities of the people that I was dealing with, and I felt like the work was not meaningful. So I switched over to the environmental sector, which more aligned with who I was and who I was becoming. And then it sort of changed my mindset. I'm starting to feel like I don't really need to be in New York, and I sacrifice a lot to be here. There's a lot that I don't like about living in this area, and one is to this question. It's hard to relax. It's very crowded. There's lots of people. It's very loud all the time. Everything is crammed and crowded, and it's just hard to feel like I have a moment to myself. And yeah, so I don't maybe a few years at most. I'm thinking I'm ready to get going. I've already been here 7, 8 years, so long time, longer than I thought. Okay. What is your favorite trigger? Probably inaudible, and close-up whispering. So I guess a lot of what I make, I create the stuff that I really like to watch. And I guess I do like gum chewing videos too, just because there's sounds that I can sort of like just listen to, not focus on, and just be relaxed by and help me fall asleep, if that makes sense. So I think that's why they're my favorite. Okay, where are you from? I'm originally from Massachusetts. What is your favorite type of music? That's really hard. I listen to almost everything, not quite, but almost. I listen to like a lot of indie alternative. I listen to a lot of electronic and pop punk, and it sounds weird, but I kind of just like things that sound bizarre and different. If you've ever heard of Death Grips, I really like them because their sounds are really unique. They play around with and mix a lot of different sounds and noises, and I really appreciate that. I guess I like sort of the genre bending types of songs that I hear because, I don't know, I feel like so many things we hear today are repetitive, and I feel like it all sounds the same. So when I hear something that's like really strange and unique, I like have to love it. I don't know. Okay. Do you listen to podcasts? I do sometimes, but only if I'm really desperate. Like if I'm sick of listening to music and I haven't gotten a lot of new stuff to listen to lately, I will resort to podcasts at work or on a long car ride, or sometimes when I'm like just commuting back and forth from work. But it's definitely more of a rare occasion. So I like to listen to My Favorite Murder. I love listening to that podcast on a road trip because I can just knock out the hours like that. I listen to Science Rules by Bill Nye. I listen to Stuff You Should Know About and Stuff They Don't Want You to Know About. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, I don't listen to them a ton, but sometimes I get into kicks where I listen more than usual. When is your birthday? My birthday's in November, and I am a Sagittarius Scorpio cusp, so towards the later part of November. And I'm like such a true fire sign, you guys. Okay. What is your favorite animal? Polar bear, definitely. Do you ever plan on getting married? Great question. I'd say it's possible. It's something that I've thought about, but I kind of just take things day by day, and I've been with my partner for a long time, but I just feel like marriage has never been important to me. It's never been top of mind. I don't typically fall into like the conventional, traditional styles of things. So I don't know if for me personally a marriage could work. I also have some commitment issues, so I mean that on top of it makes it hard. But I still feel really young. I'm 25, and while a lot of my friends have started to get married, it just doesn't feel like the right basically, there's already stress on my heart. Not dangerously so, like I don't have to live that differently because of it. But a pregnancy would put a lot of stress on the part of my heart that is already not 100%. So it's a really big risk, and it's not one that I'm willing to take, especially because never had a lot of maternal instincts. I've never thought about kids. I've never really wanted them. Again, I'm still young, so that could change. That could very likely change. But I just committed early on to the fact that I shouldn't have them because I don't want to risk my health and safety. If anything, I would adopt. I think there's a lot of kids out in the world that need homes that don't have them, and we're already really overpopulated, so I think, if anything, that would be the best fit for me, is to adopt, if I decide one day that that's a role that I want to take on. What's some advice for someone who's about to graduate high school? Love this question. It's hard. I have a lot of advice, and I'll try to keep it brief, but I think it's ultimately important that you try not to sweat the small stuff and don't get too overwhelmed and upset with yourself. Always be very gentle and kind and caring to yourself, because this transitional phase from high school to whatever you're doing, whether you are taking some time off or jumping right into a career or job or going to school, going to college, seeking higher education, it can be a very difficult transition period, and it is so easy to beat yourself up over the stress or not knowing what you want to do or just feeling general anxiety about all of it. It's totally normal, and I think something that I regret is not having more fun, not enjoying my youth, taking things way too seriously, being way too hard on myself, trying to build this perfect life and to try to have every answer to every question, and it's just impossible. Because I thought that way for so long. My youth literally slipped through my fingertips and it was gone before I feel like I could really enjoy it. So it's obviously important to, have some sort of motivation to follow your dreams, follow your path if you have one, but also have as much fun as you can along the way. A lot of parts of adulthood are incredible and wonderful, but I really do wish that I savored more of the opportunities I had when I was younger and didn't have as many worries, didn't have to think about financial problems. So that's a regret I have, and I hope that none of you make that same mistake that I did. Just like I said, be as kind and gentle to yourself as you can, and please know that it is okay if you have no idea what you want to do in your life. Totally fine. I felt like I was such a failure for not having it all figured out and really forcing myself to define that early on and to just pick something and go with it. And it did work out for me. I was able to meander from my path and take some detours and figure it out. But that pressure I put on myself was unhealthy and not necessary. There are plenty of people I know in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s who don't know what they want to be when they grow up. Some people never figure it out, and that's okay. And we are evolving creatures and beings, and we change our minds and we find new interests and we have new passions. Sometimes you are just working a job to pay the bills. Sometimes you're working a job because you really care about it. 5 years down the line, that might be totally different. And it's good to change and to grow and develop into new versions of ourselves. So don't ever feel like you have to fit into this one perfect box. You don't. You shouldn't. You should always challenge yourself to grow and try new things. Okay, that wasn't brief at all, and I could keep going, but I'm going to stop, and I hope that was helpful. Okay. Do you have any interests outside of ASMR? Is Is there anything you do for fun when you're not working or making videos? Yes. I love to write. I write a lot of poetry. I used to write blog posts a lot, just about stuff I was interested in at the time. But it's mostly poetry or song lyrics. I also love board games, it sounds silly, but I really love them. Or any games, really. I actually just bought a new board game. It's called, let me show you. It's called Betrayal at House on the Hill. So it's a horror-themed board game. I literally just unwrapped it yesterday. I haven't opened it up to play or anything like that, but I'm excited. The game that I've been playing the most is called Horrified, which I assume is like a similar theme. It's like a horror-themed board game. And I play that a lot, so I figured why not try some more. Anyways, I could talk about board games forever, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm staying on track. Dang it, I'm staying on track. What else do I do? I like outdoorsy nature stuff. I like to travel when I can. I take a lot of weekend trips or day trips just to get out of the city. And that's something I look forward to. I love planning that stuff, planning events, game nights, movie nights, weekend trips, all of that stuff. Going to the movies. Oh, and obviously going to concerts. That should be at the top of the list, going to concerts. And I also like to run a lot. I run 5Ks and like Rugged Maniacs and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I enjoy that takes up a good chunk of time. Okay, just a few more questions. I'm sorry this video is probably longer than I am intending, but it's so hard to not talk. I'm trying to be brief and stuff. Okay, what are your favorite movies, TV shows, books, and music? I'm going to just simply give one for each topic, because I will be here for hours otherwise. Okay, so I guess favorite movie, really hard to pick. I'm just gonna go by my recent favorite that I've seen the most number of times, which is Sorry to Bother You. TV show, Mr. Robot, hands down. Favorite book, it's kind of a funny story. That's a book I read when I was younger. But it's still my favorite because it had such a deep meaning to me and it resonated to my current life. So, really meaningful. That's why. And favorite music, I'm just gonna go with this song. I guess two. First is Heads Will Roll by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. I specifically do love the 8-track remix, but the original is obviously wonderful too. And then, my other favorite, I would say, is pretty much most White Stripes songs, but I guess for the purpose of this video, I'll say either Canon or Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground. Okay, what are some of your favorite outdoor activities? I'd say probably, I like a lot of them, but I would say kayaking, hiking. Those are probably the top two. And then I really love to go out and just take nature walks and take really nice photos of nature, specifically flowers. I love a good flower photo, and I try really hard to get them. Okay, what do you do when you feel down? Honestly, when I'm feeling down, I accept it and I let myself be sad. So I think it's really important that I give myself that space, not try to push through it, but say, okay, you're having a moment, like, let's just sit in that moment, feel it out, do what you need to do, and then we'll get past it, because I've learned that suppressing it doesn't work. And giving myself that space, it feels kind, and it feels compassionate, and I feel good about it. And then stuff that sort of soothes me is to drink hot tea, get snuggled up in the blankets, eat some good food, shows, stuff that's really light, and just lightweight and fun and no drama. And I think honestly just getting enough rest, just laying down, sleeping if I need to, and just kind of waiting until I can get my energy and my mental health back into a place that feels right. Obviously, it varies in intensity, Sometimes I'm just like kind of down. Sometimes I'm like really out for the count, so it depends. What inspired you to work in service of the environment? Well, as I mentioned, I grew up pretty much in Vermont, around lots of nature, so very early on I had a serious appreciation for the environment, for nature of all kinds, and for animals, and all of that stuff. And I grew up and I started to learn about different issues that the environment faced, or just simply interests that I had wanting to learn more about wildlife and conservation and climate change and all of these surrounding issues. They really started to open my eyes, and seeing them happen in real time in my life, and watching green space degrade and disappear, and hearing about species going extinct, it just felt like a very strong motivating thing. I don't know, I just felt like I had to do something. I felt really moved by it. And I think it's really important that in order to take action on something, you need to care about it and know about it. And I think just because simply of my upbringing, that's what led me to where I am today. Do you like sports? Not really. I used to play a ton of sports when I was younger, in like middle and high school, and I was really into it, but I would get frustrated and quit everything, which is not a good trait at all. But it was terrible when I was younger. It was like if I wasn't the best at something, I was quitting. I was done with it. I didn't want to do it. So stupid, but so I never really lasted long. And I didn't like the concept of team sports. I don't know, I was very like independent, wanted to do things on my own. Didn't want to be like relied on for stuff. But I did do dance. I played softball, volleyball, soccer. I forgot what I already said. Did I say karate and dance? I don't know. Maybe I did. I always wanted to play rugby, but I couldn't because of my heart problem. But I do like to snowboard. I guess that is a sport. It's a winter sport. I love to snowboard, and I do love to watch winter sports. So whenever the X Games comes around, love to watch those. And I do enjoy going to the occasional baseball game. But aside from that, and the occasional hockey game. But I would not call myself like a huge sports fan. But if I did, I would have to support my home teams, which are, the Red Sox and the Patriots. I hope I don't lose any subscribers for that. I promise I'm not a serious sports person. Just where I was born, I can't help it. Okay, do you like to cook? No. I'm trying to be better about it. I really am, but I just don't enjoy it. Like, I like to eat, I like good food, I like to be healthy, and it's something I do have to work on, especially because having a vegan diet, you kind of do have to work hard to like prep your meals, because you can't assume that you can just like go out wherever you want and just pick up something that you want to eat, because sometimes your options are limited. So I feel like I've gotten better, but I don't love it yet. Maybe once I feel like more confident with my cooking abilities, I'll honestly, it's feeling like I make a difference because ASMR has helped me in so many ways, and that's why I wanted to start a channel of my own, because I had a lot of ideas for content that I thought could help people and that I thought people could enjoy, and I wanted to add to that community in that way. So it's honestly like knowing that you guys like this stuff that I'm making a difference, and just the response that I get from you guys, it's wonderful. I mean, you're all so nice and kind and compassionate, and I say this all the time, but it's always true. So I feel like it's so rewarding, and I don't know, it just makes